Well, it's been a minute since we had to hear this sad, sad music, and I'm really sad that we had to round out our weekend by hearing it again because the Phoenix Suns decided to lose to the New Orleans Pelicans, 113-107. Y'all, this one was a major bummer.
It was tough. You know, it was definitely a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
There was a lot of chalk, chirping, physical play, but at the end of the day, the Suns just could not hit enough open shots to really seal this game, and they had every opportunity to do so. They couldn't stop Zion on the other end, which just enhanced the problem, and it was just that was a tough one. That was a tough one to take.
Yeah, this one's simple to me. 4 of 16 is what the number that made the difference. That was Grayson Allen, Eric Gordon, and Royce O'Neal from deep tonight. You're not if at least one of those guys isn't hitting from deep, you're not winning. That's right. That's just the thing, because the Suns brought those three guys in particular to benefit off the gravity of the big three, and they couldn't hit threes tonight, and that's the ball game.
If you look at the games, they were successful. Go back to the first Pelicans game, Royce and Grayson, you know, they're shooting a three ball. The other night, shooting a three ball versus a Cavs shooting a three ball. So, I mean, there's something to say about those role guys. Those role guys, you can't have most of them disappear all at the same time, because then you're playing with fire. Big three wasn't perfect. They weren't perfect. Brad Beal was terrific. This is just a tough game, man. This is a Pelicans team that's on life support. They knew if they lost today, they were automatically in the play-in and fighting for their lives. Playoff intensity. Good basketball game. I think both teams played their asses off, and the Pelicans won. I'm not going to look at this as like a major disappointing game.
It's not a major disappointing game because, you know, the Pelicans did have to play well to win, and they did. You know, CJ McCollum carried him in the first half.
Bro, CJ could not miss a shot in the world.
In the first half, yeah. And then the second half, Zion basically was – even Pelicans fans, as Lindsay was saying on Twitter, were like, damn.
Yeah,
this is the best we've ever
games,
seen Zion play. You know what I mean? And, of course, it was tonight. You know what I mean? Zion had that look in his eye on both ends of the court, and we couldn't stop him. And then, I mean – The 4 for 16 from those three guys off the bench, that can't have. You can't have 7 points off the bench and expect to win the game. But I will say, you know, outside of Bradley Beal, just about everybody else in the fourth quarter wasn't really connecting. They weren't hitting. Nobody was really helping out Bradley Beal. That's also tough to take. And so there's multiple levels to this, and I think everybody on the team outside of obviously Bradley Beal could take a little bit of blame here and there, but overall, you know, you'll learn from this and you move on.
Nobody showed up in the most critical portion of this game, which was that fourth quarter. Bradley Beal had 15 of the Suns' 22 points in that quarter. The other 7 came from Book and KD. That was it. Or maybe 6 came from Book and KD, and then there was one.
Here's the interesting thing about the fourth quarter, though. And I'm going to go back and watch it, but Kevin and Devin were on the bench to start the fourth. Brad went nuts, right? When Kevin and Devin came back in, they were deferring to Brad for like 3-4 minutes straight. So that also has to, you know, they were saying, bro, go cook. Like, you're the guy. Like, we're not getting in your way. Go cook. So sometimes you look at it and you say, well, those guys didn't contribute. Well, part of that was because Brad was so damn hot, they were just going to him. So
yeah, but I feel like when you change the rotation like that, the whole point is Brad is going to go get his at the beginning of the fourth. That's because you don't have KD and Book out there. And the expectation is when they come back in, they're well rested, they're going to take over the rest of that load. And they didn't at any point there in the fourth. Book had a couple drives and got that end one. But, like, to me, that's That's what the equation should be there in the fourth. Brad, you did your job. Now we're coming in, and we're going to do ours.
Also,
I get that, but what if he doesn't? What if they take the ball out of Brad's hand and they don't get it done?
But also,
it's Kevin and Devin.
But also they got halfway through that quarter, and Brad went to the bench, and they still didn't do anything.
That's
Even
what
with Brad was on the bench.
That's legit.
It's not always just deferring to Brad, because I thought Brad was doing a very good job of trying to get everybody else involved as well. Because he wasn't. Listen, Brad wasn't forcing shots. He was. He just, when he had the opportunity, he took the shot.
Yeah,
and
Brad
he was killing it tonight. And the other guys, you could tell that the other guys were not like, at their peak. They weren't like grooving. They weren't feeling great. And you got to give the Pelicans a little bit of credit for that, because they were being physical. They were knocking them off their routes. They were trying to make things really difficult. They were grabbing. They were tugging. And that's what the Pelicans did against us in the playoffs a couple years ago. They kind of lost their identity the last couple times they played us, because we just cooked them in New Orleans. They found it tonight. This is the recipe for the Pelicans to stay consistent and good. The problem is they don't do that against other teams. Well, this is the one team that's like their nemesis, and they really want to play hard against them. I guarantee you the next game they play, they're going to fucking get dog-walked, and they're going to lose.
But they played this – go ahead.
I was going to say another portion of this, too, is I know we talked a little bit about CJ and his insane shooting, especially in the first half of this game, but CJ didn't really have big games against the Suns the last two times that the Pelicans played the Suns.
Yeah.
And that was a huge difference maker in tonight's game, in addition to Zion.
Well, that's a great point. This is where the difference is. I don't think the Pelicans can replicate what they did tonight like the Suns can.
No.
For instance, Alvarado's not going to play the game he played every night. That's a once-in-a-lifetime game for him.
Career high.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's a once-in-a-lifetime game for him. So you're not going to get that from Alvarado. You're not going to get – the biggest problem for the Suns today, I believe, was foul trouble. And I'm not talking about individual player foul trouble. I'm talking about team fouls in the quarters. They were getting into the bonus with like 7 minutes left in the third and the fourth. Zion is – dog, no one in the world can D that man if he's in a bonus with 7 minutes and a quarter. So that was a big part. I just don't believe this Pelicans team can play that way all the time.
Look, Alvarado, though, can replicate what he did defensively. He got under their skin. He unnerved them a little bit at times tonight. But, look, you're not going to stop Zion the way that Frank played it either. I don't think Frank adjusted when the Pelicans did, right? Enough where they dropped Valanciunas out. Nurk just didn't have it in most cases tonight. I would have liked to have seen them go smaller, try to run him more, try to go at Zion a little bit more and wear him down. Instead, Zion just freaking, as you say, dog walked him the entire fourth quarter.
EJ made a good point. They didn't make Zion work on the defensive end very much either. And when you're playing against guys like Zion that gets winded, especially when the moves are not his own. And that's something to be said about defense. It's all reactionary. You got to really put in a lot of effort. Zion did a decent job on defense, but they just didn't make him work hard enough and take advantage of that. And he had a lot of energy down the stretch. You saw in New Orleans, he was getting gassed.
Yeah.
2-3 minutes in, bench. 2-3 minutes in, bench. Well, tonight was not the case.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
great point.
Eric in the chat said it was inexcusable that Thad didn't get minutes when the Fives were struggling the whole night. Or you didn't see Frank Vogel go small with this group either. Would you guys have liked to have seen a little bit of Thad Young in this one? I know a lot of people on Twitter were asking for it.
I don't understand it. The last time we saw Thad, he had a good game.
He helped us win
the two times we've seen him, he's had decent games.
And so I don't understand what the thought process is. It's the same thing that happened to Bull earlier in the year.
Yeah.
You just don't understand. And Bull didn't play at all in the second half either. I don't really understand it. There's a lot of faith in Nurkic and Eubanks. But again, this is one of those things where you got to feel it. And clearly, Nurk wasn't feeling it tonight. He wasn't having a good game. He was missing some bunnies. He was trying to he was trying to flop a lot and get some fouls. And in this kind of game, you're not going to get those calls. They weren't calling the flops. And then Eubanks comes in, and I felt like he made an egregious foul at about the 5 minute mark where against Larry Nance. And it was we were up by 1 at that point. Yeah. He fouls inexplicably for no reason. There's nothing happening. The action's going to the free throw line, and Nance hits 2 free throws, and that's the last time the Suns took the lead. again, those are the small things you just can't do, especially when you get to the playoffs. Every little moment matters. When you make stupid fouls like that, when you look up and you know you have 4 fouls, that means the next one, they're in the bonus. You foul, they're in the bonus, and it just keeps them in the groove of scoring.
You know what? There was about 5 possessions where the ball just, it's those dog possessions. Ball's up, guys are fighting for it, Suns don't get to the ground, it ends up in the Pelicans' hands, they get a basket. It's those moments that are going to make me want Thad Young to be in the game. Because for some reason, I feel like Thad Young is a guy that closes those type of possessions.
Or Josh Okogie.
Correct. Dirty guys are going to get on the ground. We should have seen that. They got every bounce today, and they got it done.
Why? I mean, Valanciunas plays 4 total minutes in this game, right? Willie Green saw something and adjusted early, right?
Yep.
And Nurk and Eubanks combined for 48 minutes in the game. Like they both play. I don't understand why Frank went traditional with this. It wasn't working at all. Wasn't as if those guys were helping on Zion. So why not try something different? I need Frank to adjust, and that's going to be his stubbornness is going to be his downfall at some point if he doesn't consider that.
I don't know if I agree that going smaller would have helped the Suns, even if they're throwing doubles, because Zion he's just too damn big. Like, he was beasting every single guy. Now, the only guy that could possibly think that might throw a little wrinkle in there is Thad. He's the only guy that could have possibly maybe thrown a little bit of a different look at Zion, but Zion was getting his. And we all know, like, when you look at the Giannis's of the world, and when Zion's playing like this, there's not much you could do to stop him. What I would say is there was a couple times when you knew you got beat. That's when you make the foul.
Yeah,
force him to the free throw line.
Make him shoot
free throws because he's not a very good free throw shooter. But they didn't do that not once. At the end of the game, I thought for sure when he drove, they should have fouled him, but they didn't do that. And those are the things. That's smart basketball is more than just good plays. It's also knowing when to do the action and make a foul at the right time.
I'm not. You don't go small because defensively. You know what Zion's going to do. You do it because, like you were saying, make him work on the defensive end. Make him have to run. Put the pressure on them in that way when you know that they're not going to play an actual center. That even if you've had done it early and weared Zion down a little bit, then it pays dividends at the end of the game. And you don't adjust at all. You just stick with your normal stuff.
Well, and then in the second quarter, too, because that's where kind of like all of this really spiraled out of control. The Pelicans won that quarter 37-24 over the Suns, and it came because it felt like they were focusing too much on protecting the paint, and they slacked off entirely on defending the three-point line, and that's where dagger after dagger after dagger came through, and that shifted the entire momentum for this team. And it was also, I think, probably messed with Nurk mentally because Nurk struggled in that quarter.
Well, and it was also the cause and effect. We're sitting here talking about, like, why didn't they throw doubles at Zion and pack the paint and stuff like that? It's because in that second quarter, they were getting murdered from three. Everybody was hitting for the Pelicans, so I can see the hesitancy to just throw the bag at them and then give them the threes again. So it's a delicate balance, but again, there has to be a little bit of adjustment here and there. Listen, I think sometimes you just got to give credit to another team for playing very, very well while acknowledging that there's some things that you could have cleaned up. I think the wide open misses from three are probably the most glaring thing, like you pointed out, that stood out because, I mean, I'll take it all day. Grayson Allen have a wide open 3-point shots, right? And he missed 3 or 4 of them wide open, and if he hits 2 of those, the game's changed, and
he goes 0 for 5 in the fourth from behind the arc. Even 2 of those.
To be fair, the only Sun who hit a 3 in the fourth quarter was Bradley Beal.
So you look at that. If you replayed this over again, if you had the same exact circumstances and you replay it over again, I'm replaying it. I'm banking on they're going to hit those shots. That's what I'm doing.
I don't do anything different.
I don't do nothing different.
I will say that.
Hey, Grayson's going to hit those shots, and we're going to win the basketball game. So, like you said, give credit where credit is due. Pelicans played their ass off. This was a playoff game. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I hate the end result because now the Suns are the toughest spot.
But it was live in here.
It was live.
It was loud. We had a good crowd. Like, it was
felt
fun.
like I was courtside, man. This was
we were all slapping and let's go, baby. Like, it was fun.
So if you're wondering why our background looks a little bit different, it's because we're out here at Wild Horse Pass Hotel and Casino, part of the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And it has been so much fun. We had a watch party on Friday. We had another watch party today. Want to give a shout out to some of the homies that came through. Nita and Dale, first-timers at a Suns watch party. Super awesome meeting you guys. And then a whole bunch of repeat offenders, if you will. Jake, Silos, JD, and the whole crowd out here was an absolute blast. When Bradley Beal was going off at the beginning of the fourth quarter, that was the most fun. And just so lively in this space out here.
When he hit that corner three to take the lead.
It was so fun. If you guys want to join us for our next event, I don't know if we have it fully fleshed out completely.
We will have some playoff dates coming up. We just are trying to figure out where we want to go do them at. And so,
and when the games are going to happen.
Go PHNX.com, click the events tab. That's where you can stay up to date on all things PHNX events, including the rest of our squads like Cardinals, Coyotes, D-backs, you name it. But also, just real quick, I know the Suns took an L, but I got a W tonight. Did anybody else get a W tonight?
$20.
Did anybody else? Don't be a hater, Espo. I got a win on my BetMGM Sportsbook.
Listen,
Bet
Lindsay,
of the night.
You're our only hope.
I know, right? I'm trying. I am trying, you guys. So I got a win tonight, and Espo took an L, which means I am almost... What do I need? Like
you need
$307 to reach Espo. I'm getting there.
You're $393 behind him.
$393. No. $393? Yeah, $493. You're right. You're right.
I can do
Sorry.
math.
I mean, you guys
can't do that.
Hey, Lindsay, you keep taking those plus 200s. You'll catch me sometime next season.
I will get there eventually.
Lindsay, you have hope.
I'm at least at 100.
With that, you have hope.
There is a possibility that I can beat you, Espo. You keep talking your smack. You're going to wind up.
I have to because I got to enjoy it.
Okay.
Hey, you put together a Saul special the last game of the year with $100.
There's no bullshit collusion on the last day where you help her.
Hey,
all bets are off, Espo. But if you guys want to get in on the action, you definitely got to sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app. It is so much more fun when you make it like a competition with your friends, too. I'm just saying, you guys should totally do it. But sign up using that promo code PHNX. You place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Bonus bets. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get stuffed, Ontario. And you know what? Puerto Rico, flex is still flex. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I told you guys we were out here at Gila River Resorts and Casinos for our watch party, specifically Wild Horse Pass. And let me tell you, no one does it better. They have had so many activations this weekend out here, and they have been an absolute blast, from the Mike Bibby collection of shoes. Super cool. Then they had concerts last night. Who performed? Ice Cube and E40?
Ice Cube and E40, yeah.
That was super cool, too. I saw that all over social media. I'm telling you, no one does it better than Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
Tomorrow is the last day for the Bibby Collective. So if you haven't seen this, you should come out, take a look at all the shoes. Ray Allen's shoes got donated. There's some other shoes. Some book ones are out here. Check it out. You could also win some tickets for next year's Suns games. You can win some giveaways, $250 gift card, a one-night stay, like all this other stuff if you just play some NBA Jam. That's it. That's all you got to do. Come out here. Bibby will be out here tomorrow. It's the last day for the national championship, so check it out.
And Wiz Khalifa coming on the 24th. I saw that. So
nice.
If that's your thing, you know. So, I got the name right? I got it?
Sure,
Yeah, all right.
Head on out to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what next level is all about. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more information. All right, gentlemen, we've talked a lot about some numbers in this one, but let's go ahead and officially look at the numbers by checking out what's inside the box, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes.
Yeah. So Pelicans get a 113-105 win. Field goal percentage was pretty close. Suns shot 44% to the Pelicans 47%. Here's the number. Points off the bench. Pelicans destroy us. 34 points off the bench for the Pelicans to the Suns 7.
Oops.
Assists, the Suns +4, 30-26 in the assists. We talk about that a lot, Espo. Anytime they get 30, they win. Not tonight. And
because of one of the other numbers I'm sure you're going to talk about.
One of the other numbers we're going to talk about. 3-point shooting. Suns are 14 for 39 for 35%. Pelicans are 16 for 39 for 41%. And those 2 extra three-pointers pretty much put it in the bag. So in the box score, pretty similar. 2 hard-nosed teams that went at it. They hit a couple more shots, and they get the dub tonight.
All right, guys, so we did get a super chat from X. Thank you, X. They said, I'm a Pelicans fan, but I'm here for Gerth. Gerald will be joining us a little bit later in the program, but he did just send us an update from Frank Vogel, a video of Vogel talking about why he did not go small in this one.
One of the best rim attackers in the league. We wanted to have a big out there behind whoever was on the ball. Didn't do as good a job in this game as we did last game. And, he dominated the game on both sides of the ball. 5 blocks. We got around him a few times and made him move speed on the perimeter. But, just an exceptional performance by Zion. Credit him.
So,
makes sense.
There
I
you
can
go.
live with it.
Yeah.
You got it from Frank Vogel himself, the explanation we've all been kind of looking for. And I'm glad at least that he gave us, a semi-substantial answer there as to why he made that decision, because I know a lot of people were having some concerns about the lack of adjustments there.
It worked so well. Why not stick with it?
Listen. We also got a super chat from Thunder Stan. Thank you, Thunder Stan. They said, one might say the Suns are shooting you blanks.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we can't put this on Drew now. Come on now.
Listen,
he wasn't
as
the
much
greatest,
as I
but it's
agree,
definitely
that was
not
a really
his
great super chat.
This one ain't on Drew tonight.
It wasn't, but it was a great super chat, Thunderstan. I appreciate you. All right, guys. I know we talked a lot about Bradley Beal, but we got to officially hand out some flowers to him because he absolutely deserves it after this monster performance. Bradley Beal is our big, bright, shiny star.
I'm a big, bright, shining star.
Go ahead.
So Bradley Beal finished with 33 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He was 7 of 8 from deep, 13 of 19 overall.
I just want to see a world where not only is he cooking like this, but everybody else is chipping in as well. We saw that one other time, I think, against the Lakers earlier in the season where he was cooking, but everybody else was chipping in, and they blew out the Lakers. That's the potential of this team. Tonight, you could tell Bradley was feeling good. He could get anything he wanted at will. The three-point stroke was just falling. It was great. This is one of his better games. And defensively, he continues to impress.
Yep.
He was fantastic defensively. He causes havoc out there. He's got long arms for a guy that you look like height-wise should not have the arms that he has. But he gets his hands everywhere in the passing lanes. I thought he did a great job tonight overall. And he continues to try and do his best against Zion Williamson, despite the fact that he's severely outmatched physically. But, I thought Bradley was fantastic tonight.
I love what Frank's doing now, giving him the opportunity at the beginning of the fourth, though, because he's out there and it's him. That's Beal time, right? Those 4 minutes before Book and KD come back in. And he deserves it with the effort he's put in defensively, playing point guard. He deserves a time where that can be his to take over offensively, and he stepped up tonight. Without a doubt, in those moments, he stepped up. I love what I've seen from Bradley Beal recently, and I know that the points haven't always been great, but what he's done for this team, his mentality of I'm willing to take any assignment you throw at me, I'm willing to be the point guard if that's what I need to do, I will be that guy for this group, has meant a lot, and I think is a big reason we've seen a Suns team that's come out more motivated and has played better over the last 10 games.
Yeah, Brad was terrific. I'm so proud of him, man. He just keeps taking on whatever this team needs. He just does it. And I'm going to tell you something. This is one of those games that it goes beyond what happened today. Because you know what Brad just did? Brad just let the rest of the league know. I'm still Brad, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm still Brad. Now, tonight, the homies ain't really helped me out. We couldn't close the deal. 9 out of 10 times, they will. And so you think I'm getting 10 assists, 10 dimes, and I come out here and let you know I could drop a 40 on your head. I think that does wonders for this basketball team. I like that. I wish they would have won. but it's still out there. Now the Clippers are looking at the tape and saying, damn, we better do something with Brad. And so it's a good reminder.
Okay, so that was like the silver lining of this game, right? Because heading into playoffs, you knew that you needed to have a game like this from Bradley Beal for nothing else but a reminder that, Brad, you can do this.
Yep.
Like, you are that guy still. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he has been taking that step back. He has been sacrificing for the team, but he needed to be reminded that, like, if you are called upon to take over a game, you absolutely can crush that shit.
Yeah.
So we needed this type of a game before the playoffs started for Bradley Beal. It's unfortunate that the rest of his teammates couldn't help him enough to get the win, but this still does wonders mentally for all of these guys, but specifically Bradley Beal, in knowing that he still got it like that.
Agreed.
You know, the great thing about this game is I didn't feel like Bradley Beal's game took away shots from Book and KD.
Right.
I felt like, man, you could really see how all three could work together because each one of those, Book and KD had plenty of opportunities to be able to drop 30 tonight, right? They just weren't as fresh and as, you know, they weren't clicking the way they usually do, right? But if that happens, you can see how it all works together in the context of the offense. So each one of them can drop 30. This is only the second time all season that the Suns have lost when the big three score 75 points or more. Only the second time. They're 11-2. It's unfortunate it happened tonight, but, you know, it is what it is. And, again, I think this is the recipe moving forward. Like, you can let these guys cook on their own, and they can also work together. And, man, if all three of them are clicking, I'm telling you, I don't see a scenario where if all three are cooking, I don't know who's going to beat them.
I'm with you.
To be honest with you, I don't know. But, unfortunately, that hasn't happened a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I was most impressed with Brad's handle tonight. Right? He was putting guys on skates tonight. It felt very much like Washington, Brad Beal, in the way he was breaking guys down off the dribble. That's real encouraging to me as well.
Yeah. Real quick, Furio in the chat said, I hear nothing but Cope right now. Normally, like, listen, 2 weeks ago, I probably would have agreed with you a little bit, but this team has been on a different level these last handful of games.
I mean, they're 4 out of the last 6.
Exactly.
Right.
And we've seen them clean up the problem areas that we've been asking them to clean up, and it's been more consistent. And tonight, like, sure, there were some issues that we had, like turnovers were still a problem. But I would say more of tonight's issue was CJ McCollum deciding to go the F off in the second quarter and Zion playing out of his damn mind in the second half more than I would say the Suns shot the bed.
Yeah, and if both those things still happen and Jose Alvarado is Jose Alvarado, this game's different too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's the thing. That's why it doesn't bother me. It took Jose Alvarado playing out of his goddamn mind in his play, and Grayson Allen completely disappearing, Royce O'Neal disappearing,
like
Eric Gordon. Like I'm not. That's why I'm not concerned about it, because that was an outlier. This wasn't the Suns played all that poorly. It was an outlier of a game in multiple ways.
You can sit there and say that it's a cope, but it's the reality. The NBA is really, really good. The Western Conference is really, really good. The New Orleans Pelicans, despite what you may believe, are really good. Like, and when
wait till they get BI back.
When three guys are clicking the way that they did tonight, it is going to be hard to beat the Pelicans. The Suns were right there, and they just needed a little bit of help to get them over the hump, and they couldn't get it. It is what it is sometimes, man. Like, it's not a cope. It's just, it is what it is.
I'm going to tell you what a lot of people don't realize is, one, it's hard to beat a team every game in the NBA. They haven't really beaten us this year.
And the New Orleans Pelicans have such a chip on their shoulder when it comes to the Suns. I mean, Book's been literally just ringing their know what every single time they've played recently.
If this game,
I'd be pissed.
If the problem was we just played them, and so the plays are fresh. The personnel's fresh. This felt like a playoff game. It felt like Willie Green played game one the other day and said, we got mollywop. Let's go out there.
He called their play soft.
Yeah.
Willie Green called their play against Book soft the last time these two teams. You don't think they took this personally tonight?
This ain't coping. This is not coping. This is Zion. This people, you said it. There's people in the Pelicans chat saying this might be the best game they've seen Zion play this year. So Zion had the best game of his life, or best game of the season. Alvarado had the game of his life, and CJ McCollum was Steph Curry-like tonight.
And the Suns still had every opportunity
and still could have won the game.
To win this game.
Right. So this ain't coping.
But listen,
it's a tough game.
Here's the deal. At the end of the day, we're all friends here, right? We're all still in each other's inner circle, even if you think it's one thing and I think it's another. That's what makes this great, because we can have this type of conversation and still remain in each other's inner circles, just like our friends over at Circle K. They'll never let you down when you join their inner circle, and you can download it, their Circle K app today, and sign up for free. It's a brand new free membership program, and they want to hook you up with a whole bunch of things, like you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You save 3 cents per gallon every single day, and once you reach a certain threshold, you'll bump that up to 5 cents per gallon. Plus coupons. Who doesn't love a good coupon? You get every 6 free on a selection of Circle K products. They always have deals and specials within the app, specifically for their Inner Circle friends. So make sure you join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Lindsay, Jose Alvarado, would you say he kind of got lucky tonight?
A little bit lucky, yeah.
Well, if you want to get lucky like Jose Alvarado, our friends over at the Arizona Lottery have you taken care of. They're introducing a unique new ticket and promotion called Arizona Adventure. 3 simple ways to win. Play Arizona Lottery's tickets featuring 3 iconic landscapes, Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain. These tickets have prizes up to $50,000. You heard that right, $50,000. But that's not it. That there is more. You can also check in at geolocated adventures at 10 destinations across the state, from Flagstaff to Yuma, from Scottsdale to Sierra Vista. Not that you want to go there, but you can visit azadventure.com for details and directions. But again, not it. That's not all. You can check in at destination coordinates on the website, or you can enter tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It's also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
All right.
Well, I don't want to alarm anybody. Are we going to talk about the standings?
Yep, that's games to watch. We're taking a peek at the standings.
Well,
what you got for us, Saul?
All right. Well, as we sit here, the Suns are still in the 6th seed because they're tied with New Orleans, 8 games behind.
And own the tiebreaker.
And they own the tiebreaker. However, the Lakers are 1 game back. Now, good thing is the Lakers play tonight without LeBron because he's got the flu.
That's right.
And they're playing Minnesota, so hopefully Minnesota can help us out. And then Sacramento is up by like 20 on the Nets. They look like they're probably going to win that game eventually. Yep. So that would put the Kings at 9 games, so they'd be 1 game behind us as well. We have 4 games left to go, folks. It's going to be one hell of a ride down the stretch.
Kings won't matter if you beat them. It's that simple. Take that 1 game, they're done with you.
Now, the Lakers are the only ones that I really am concerned about.
Exactly.
Their last 4. Timberwolves tonight, then they play the Warriors in L.A., then they go to Memphis, and then they finish up in New Orleans.
Ooh. Yeah.
And that game
gonna probably mean something.
It could mean a 6, it could mean a 7, it could mean an 8, it could mean a 9.
Oh,
who knows?
Gosh. Hey, man, you cannot have dude, this is going down to the last day. I'm telling y'all, the last day, we're going to be like, we don't know what's going to happen.
A week from today.
Got to play out.
A week from today,
a noon game again to end the season.
How about that?
That's going to, I mean, this is I know we keep saying it, but the West is a murderer's row. Like, you look at all this, it would not shock me if any team from 1 through 10 winds up winning this conference. I mean, even if Golden State gets hot, you can't count them out with the guys that they have there. Yeah. Like, this is a crazy conference.
The Pelicans last 4, okay? At Portland, and then at the Kings, at the Warriors, and home against L.A. So nobody really has
got an easy schedule.
Route. Like, those 2 got 1 quote-unquote layup, right? But even the Grizzlies beat the Bucks, you know what I mean? And the Trailblazers, you don't know what the hell they're going to do on a night-to-night basis, but they're playing decent, I guess you could say. And then the Kings, you have the Kings?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Kings last 4. At the Thunder, ouch. At home against the Pelicans, against us, and then they finish up against the Trailblazers. Again,
it's a murderer's row for everybody.
But what we need to look at probably for tomorrow is, okay, there's multiple of these teams playing each other, right? Mm-hmm. The Suns only play one of those teams the rest of the way that they're really battling it out for, which Sacramento. Is the Kings, right?
Yeah.
So we need to understand, okay, some of those teams are guaranteed losses because they're heading up against each other.
Yeah, we don't
so how
have
does
that.
it all? We only have that one time. So how does this all lay out? And how important, is that Kings game really? How important is? Hopefully Minnesota has their seed next week, next Sunday, all locked up, and they don't have to fight for something because that game's going to be imperative. The Final Four this week is better probably than the Final Four we saw out in Glendale. You know?
I'm going to tell y'all something that got me really interested. This is going to be fun, guys. Listen, this time next week on Sunday, we'll play Minnesota at 12:30, right? 3:30. I'm sorry, it'll be 3:30 here. They're giving me East Coast time.
12:30, yeah.
So 3:30 start here. You know,
12:30 here.
3:30 on the East Coast.
3:30 on the East Coast, 12 here. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just came from the East Coast. I'm all jacked up. Okay, so 12:30 here Sunday. We got Minnesota. You know who else plays at 12:30 at the same exact time?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
The NBA knows what they're doing with that.
Yeah, they didn't want anybody to have an
Kings,
advantage.
Clippers, Warriors. No. We got the Pelicans. Mavericks, Thunder. We got the Lakers, Pelicans. You got, oh, gosh. We're going to be at halftime going crazy.
Lakers, Pelicans going on while we're watching the Suns play. You're right. This is all going to come down to next Sunday.
We might have to do another watch party next Sunday.
Right here. Let's do it.
I mean, it makes sense.
I don't think I can handle this.
Oh my gosh.
Dog, this is right here next Sunday.
Watch along. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that'll be magic. This place will be, because everyone's going to be scoreboard watching. Yeah. Oh man, it's going to
be
crazy.
So stressful.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Saul. I think we need to dip into the budget. I think we need to send Gerald to Sacramento on Friday night because of how important that game's going to be. Mostly selfishly because I'm not supposed to be on the schedule, but I want to be on that show as well. So send Gerald to fucking Sacramento.
Send to Sacramento.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot going on, you guys. This is going to be a crazy next 7 days. But we're going to be here for you guys through all of it, so don't worry. We've got this community here where we can go through the ups and the downs together and stress or celebrate all the different moments. We got a couple more super chats here. Don Davies sent us one, and they said, Ayton stands are wanting Alex Len over Nurk at this point. I know Nurk can't finish, but my. No.
Relax.
The only thing that irritates me about Nurkic is the fact that he can't finish nearly as good at the rim as DA could. That's it. Other than that, he's what this team needs. He's a good facilitator. He can rebound. That's all they need. They don't need a score. I wish he could finish at the rim, for crying out loud, though. Jesus.
You know, I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I'm really starting to wonder how much all these injuries that have come together, he's played through a lot. He's still got that thumb taped. How much of that is impacting his ability to get it going right now?
And then you also have to consider, Amelia brought it up in the chat, Ramadan. Still happening right now. The last day of Ramadan is Tuesday. Maybe Nurk will be a little bit better after that.
Friday, he might be a new man.
31 rebounds coming Friday.
I would love to go. I didn't even think about this, but playing on the road is probably a little bit easier for him than being
quicker.
Here because the time difference when the sun sets and when he's playing is much shorter. Shorter.
Think
he can
about
actually
today.
drink water or ingest some food when he's out there.
Guys like Kyrie,
He
had 48 today.
He does the
some
same
guys
thing.
are just built different.
Olajuwon too used to do it. He used to destroy.
So you guys saying no excuses, play like champions?
Hold on a second though. When the Earth is flat, does the sun set earlier? Is that why he gets away with it?
Carried him back to
There you go, man.
Oh no. Yeah. But I agree with you. I wish he could
Is that the phrase "fall off the face of the earth"?
Yes.
Yes. Fall off the Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Lord. I do agree with you, though, Saul. Sometimes it is infuriating when Nurk just misses one of those little.
It's right there.
I'm like,
right there.
You're 7 foot tall.
When
what are we
when
doing?
he got that
Nurk's
one ball
like,
underneath the basket and he paused, the entire crowd was like,
And then he dunked it. Everybody's like, whoa.
I still love Nurk. I will say, if we're nitpicking bigs right now, Drew Eubanks playing volleyball drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
Just grab the damn ball.
Like Nurk does it too, but Nurk seems to have more success with it.
Yeah.
Where the Suns retain that ball.
Because
you know what I
Nurk's
mean?
strategically doing it.
Right.
I freaking Eubanks is just smacking at it.
He looks like he's
drives
spiking
me
it.
crazy. It's
Like
like
he's
straight up
actually trying
volleyball.
to just spike it. Like it's crazy.
I will be. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent there, but that does get on my nerves sometimes. Ranger Roy sent us a super chat too, and they said, had chances, but losing adjustments, physicality game. Any thoughts? Won't we face this in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. We're going to face this in the playoffs. I was a little disappointed in the lack of hustle.
Yeah.
On those 50-50 balls by the Suns. There was a couple opportunities that they had a chance to get down. Now, one of the ones was like Eric Gordon was right there, and I just kept thinking, he probably was just like, I don't know if my back could do that right now. You know
he
what
bent
I mean?
over at the waist. It was like, that's about as much as he's got right there.
That's it. He's like, if I hit the ground, I'm out for 3 weeks, so I'm good.
Yeah. Now, you're right. 50-50 was crazy. No, this is good, man. I tell this is good. This is right before the playoffs. This is what you're going to see every night in the playoffs. And so I thought they handled it well. 1 or 2 shots. And they've been playing playoff basketball for now, what, last 5 games?
6 games.
6 games. So, yeah, no, it's fine. They'll be all right.
Better figure out the Clippers, though, because you got them twice. So you're going to have to come out and figure out a way to do that. The back-to-back, it helps that you're both on a back-to-back, and the travel's minimal. It's a 45-minute flight, but geez, that is brutal in the last week of the season to have to go back-to-back like that, even if it's the same opponent. So
no, it's gonna be tough.
I mean, the Suns losing today definitely made those 2 Clippers games later this week much more meaningful. Yes, they're definitely going to be much more meaningful. And make sure you guys are ready for both of those games by stocking up with our friends over at Four Peaks, because nothing goes hands in hand with Suns basketball like a ice cold Four Peaks beer. And if you have not tried their new beer yet, you absolutely need to. It's the Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. It's a collab between Four Peaks and Bad Birdie. It is super drinkable and the perfect companion at the tee box, in your fridge, or when watching your Phoenix Suns play basketball. You can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. You can also follow them on social at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Now, you must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask you please drink responsibly, but you can still go to their Four Peaks Pub down in Tempe and enjoy their delicious food, which, listen, it's one of those things about Four Peaks where they've got a lot of great things on their menu, but if you can't go often enough, you always inevitably are going to get the chicken tenders because they're so freaking good.
I enjoy the barbecue pizza as well, but the chicken tenders are great.
You really can't go wrong with anything over at Four Peaks.
So go crush a Four Peaks like Zion crushed the Suns in the paint tonight. Look, this is going to be a busy week, right? And we've got basically 2 nights before it goes hog wild. So you're going to need to get your rest tonight and Monday night, because it's gonna be lit the rest of the week.
How can we do that, Espo?
There is one way you can do that, Saul, and it's effective. So much so that it actually won a tournament. It's OG's Gummies, right? And the 2024 Gummy Madness champion was the Sleep Edition. So get your Gummy Madness BOGO. That's buy one get one free. That, if you don't know what BOGO means,
is it free? BOGO could also mean buy one get one half off.
I'm guessing
or
this one's free. One. It's buy one, get one.
I feel like I've seen it. I don't know. I'm just trying.
Lindsay, just let them find out at the dispensary.
Anybody else that says BOGO and they only give you 50% off is a bunch of horse shit. All right.
Don't lie to our friends. Is all I'm saying.
You need a BOGO.
Look, it's until the 8th. What day is it today?
The 7th.
Okay, so you got till tomorrow to take advantage of this. And
how did you not know it was the 7th?
Because I can't remember
on the
dates.
7th day.
Oh,
it's April.
Okay.
What?
There's always a 7th day in April.
It's a bad joke.
All right. OG's Naturals. You got to check them out. They're vegan gummies made with live rosin, available in sweet clementine flavors. Also, the Big OGs. This is my favorite. It's a mega version of it. It comes in raspberry orange, and it's 100 milligrams, right? But it's sliced up into 10 milligrams, so you don't take too much. It's fantastic. And then if you like freshly squeezed juice, live I'm just reading this here. What do you want me to?
I don't know why
Is that what
you
it says? Freshly squeezed juice?
I thought the same thing.
Like freshly squeezed juice. Yeah, it says it right there. The highest quality harvest cannabis.
It says, like freshly squeezed juice, live rosin is created through a
there we
pressing
go.
process.
Okay, there we go.
Get it together, Espo.
Like freshly squeezed juice, live rosin is created through a pressing process. The highest quality harvested cannabis is frozen and ultimately cannabis is frozen, ultimately pressed to extract the all-natural live rosin oil. Oh, you gotta love the live rosin oil. To learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head over to ogsbrands.com. Must be 21 or over to enjoy responsibly.
Dear Lord.
I got into the OGs, is what I'm trying to say here.
Seriously.
I'm so excited for this week. I can't contain it.
I'm so excited.
And I'm so scared. Actually, that's pretty accurate for this week. I am so excited and I am terrified at the same time.
Espo clearly needs to get it together. So while we focus on making sure that Espo is fine, here's what Bradley Beal had to say about tonight's loss.
First praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's kind of tough to pinpoint, man. I think it was they kind of just wanted it a little bit more than we did. They played with a sense of disparity, not in a negative way, but they really wanted to get the win tonight and get their kind of turn their season around, and we had a chance to really kind of setting ourselves up for staying out of the play-in with a win. But CJ came out firing, and I think that was tough on us in the beginning. And obviously we allowed Zion to kind of get rolling at the end and attacking the basket. And I think we just didn't make shots either down the stretch too. That kind of just hurt us. But it was a good game. It was a good competitive game. Hats off to them. They competed, but we didn't have that same fight to want to win that they did.
This seems like the most, Brad took this one hard. And a lot of times you hear Brad and he's got a little bit of upbeat. He'll make we've gotten some interesting quotes from him. Tonight, he obviously took this hard. They're obviously disappointed with it, but you want that. I mean, if they were just acting like upbeat, it's just another game. Your mentality's not in the right place.
You mean we are?
We're coping. That's why. They're not. They're taking it. They're wearing it on the chin. All right.
I love what I heard from Brad. Every bit of it. He was disappointed, but he pointed out all the reasons why they didn't get it done. And he at the end, the last part I think is the part that they wanted it more. Tip your hat off. They wanted it more tonight. They played like the team that was more desperate, rightfully so. If they lost this game, 6 seed was pretty much locked up for the Suns. They're 3 games back now.
You mean if they won this game?
I'm saying if the Pelicans lost the game.
Oh, the Pelicans, gotcha, sorry.
There would have been a 3-game differential. So they were the team on life support tonight, and Brad made that clear that they wanted it more. But again, man, I just love this time of year. I'm not nervous at all. I want all the smoke. I like them when they're playing pressure games like this. I think it shows more of their character. What you think, Saul? I'm waiting for you, dog. I'm waiting for you, homie. Come on, brother.
I mean, listen, man. This is playoff basketball. This is where we're at. And the desperate team is usually going to try and play their ass off. Yeah. And you saw that from the Pelicans tonight. I think there was a little bit of fool's gold in that first quarter and thinking that it was the same old Pelicans. And then in that second quarter, the Pelicans flipped the script, and then it was tough from that point on. And you got to give them credit. I didn't think that the Suns played a crisp, clean game. They could definitely play better. That's the encouraging part about this, is that you know that they could play much better. Mm-hmm. They just got to prove it. Now, this is we're at the time of the year where you got to stop talking about it. Like we said that about 6 games ago before they went on this little stretch that, like, all right, the inconsistencies got to stop. You got to figure out who you are. You got to get some good habits developed before you get to the playoffs. And outside of one game against San Antonio, I really do feel like they've incorporated some good habits. They've started to play at a higher level. Defense has been better, but sometimes you got to tip your hat to the other team. And hey, listen, the Pelicans played very well tonight.
Yeah, tonight didn't feel like those other games that they lost in any way.
I didn't feel discouraged.
No, not in any way. So that's why this isn't bothering me as much as it some of those losses a few weeks ago, because these weren't the same mistakes. Rarely do you see the Suns struggle as mightily as they did shooting wise, and I think they have found their identity. They understand that they are the big three. Like they've accepted that, and they know that will get them the open shots around the perimeter for those other guys, and it's a matter of hitting them.
So when you play ball, there were many times where you played really good defense on somebody and they just made a shot, right? Mm-hmm. And what are you saying now? You're like, yo, good defense, better shot.
I think earlier on in my life, I would be discouraged. But as you get older and you realize the guys are just fucking good. Like, again, we had McBibby on, right?
Yeah.
Played against them in an open gym, and he just made it look easy. And so there was one little shot that he had over me, and I was just like, what am I going to fucking do?
Yeah.
I did everything I possibly could, man. I'm throwing elbows at his back. As soon as he turns, I'm poking him in the stomach.
You break your finger? That guy looks like a rock.
And I love, last thing, I love what he said about Holloway, because I played with Holloway. And he said it. What he said? The guy was so quick. He was I don't think I've seen a dude that quick. So you can't do nothing. So I say all that to say, Suns were in that spot tonight. The Suns played good enough to win. Pelicans played better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you want Gerald to join the show this time, for real, he should be joining the show. You got to hit that like button.
Hit the likes.
Don't let Gerald down. Hit that like button before he gets here so he doesn't feel some type of way. While we're waiting for Gerald, can I just real quick, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but you know how we got those little stickers from our homegirl, Amelia?
Oh, yes.
Well, I put them on Gerald's tiny mic,
and
he has not taken them off. I'm actually really proud of Gerald. So if you go back and you look at Gerald's solar flare reports that he does after the games, and he's got the mic right here, you can see his little face.
I'm surprised nobody said anything to him yet in the middle of an interview. They're looking down, they see Gerald's head on a
mine.
Mic. It is.
Flex got one on his thing.
I like mine.
But did anybody else notice there's another guy using the same kind of stick now as Gerald with the mini mic?
Listen, it's smart.
I was watching one of the interviews, and they basically were battling for positioning. It looked like I was so distracted. It looked like sword fighting in front of the player. Not like that, Bookman.
All right, with that, since I clearly didn't get it together, let's just move on. Here we go.
Beyond the light, there shall only be one. Welcome.
Welcoming in our fifth member of the squad, Gerald Bourget from the Footprint Center. Gerald, what's going on, buddy?
Not a lot. How are you guys?
Living the dream.
Surprisingly not bad, considering the Suns lost. How are you feeling about this game?
I feel like they let one slip away that they could have won, but honestly, I don't disagree with a lot of what's being said in terms of the Pelicans played a good game, and they executed down the stretch. They had that 1 second quarter stretch that really hurt the Suns. I would have liked to see Frank go small ball a little bit, but at the end of the day, Thad Young is not going to stop Zion from doing what he did. So it's one of those things where Bradley Beal said that the Pelicans just wanted it a little bit more. They played with a sense of despair, and they ultimately got the win for it.
I mean, desperate teams are going to play as hard as they can to try and make sure they're not desperate anymore. And I don't think there's a big science to that. Gerald, did anybody say anything about the unusual night by the bench, specifically Grayson Allen? He had multiple opportunities to really kind of bail this team out and really help them to a win. And unfortunately, he had an uncharacteristic night off. Was there anything said about that?
Yeah, a lot said about that, actually. Frank Vogel was asked, when you look at the bench, if they only had 7 bench points, does that make you more hesitant to play them, which is quite a question. But he said, nope, they've got faith in the bench. And Grayson Allen, if you look at his splits by quarter, the three-point shooting does kind of trail off a little bit in the fourth quarter. I think he's at 36% for the year, which is not uncommon, but it is one of those things where they got good looks. And Grayson missed 2 or 3. I think Royce missed one that would have put them up 1 earlier in the quarter. Frank Vogel said, we can sleep at night knowing that we generated good looks, but sometimes the ball just doesn't fall. And Kevin Durant reasserted what he's been saying all season long is it's a make or miss league. You look at Jose Alvarado, he had 5 threes himself. CJ McCollum got hot in the first half. They felt like obviously the Pelicans, they had other guys that stepped up and contributed with the way that they were guarding Zion and focusing a lot of their attention on him. So it's one of those things where the Pelicans adjusted from the last matchup. They got good contributions out of the other guys, and the Suns just missed shots in that fourth quarter when they needed them.
Gerald, how was the environment out there? Because out here at Gila River, it was pumping out here. Guys, fans yelling, like it was people on their feet. How was it in building?
It was good when Bradley Beal got rolling. That 10-0 run, the 13 straight points he scored for the Suns to start the fourth quarter, it was about as loud as I've heard it in a couple of weeks there. So that was good to see, especially with the playoffs approaching. Beal was kind of shrugging it off at the end. He was saying, like, I don't care how many points I score in an L, but it was good to see him playing that aggressively and the crowd responding to it in that way, because we haven't heard them quite that loud or had many of those types of Beal games here in the building.
Real quick, Gerald, are you encouraged by the fact that Bradley did what he did, but you could still also see the opportunities that Book and KD had? It didn't feel like Beal's performance, took away shots from Book and KD. So there's a scenario in my mind where you can see the whole picture and all 3 guys playing at a high level all at the same time without having to take away shots from each other.
Definitely, and you could kind of see it coming before the game in terms of like the way that Willie Green had talked about the Pelicans need to defend Devin Booker after he dropped 50 on him 3 straight times. That was a huge focus, was being physical with him. Frank Vogel was saying that like they were basically fouling him every time and double teaming him every time. So it was big that Beal was able to step up and respond to that with all the attention they were giving Book, with all the doubles they were sending at KD. And all 3 of them were able to get theirs. I think tonight was only the second time they've lost when all 3 have combined for 75 points. They're 11-2 now. It was just one of those weird games where Zion was just a little bit better than everybody else on the floor when it mattered most. But you're right. I think it is encouraging, the fact that Beal has been able to adjust his game so well and contribute and find pockets where he can be more aggressive, especially when Book does go to the bench for the start of those fourth quarters.
So, Gerald, I know that you sent us in a couple clips, so we got to hear from Bradley Beal on the loss and then why Frank Vogel decided not to go small in this game. But then one of our friends in the chat, Strikeout, said that Bradley Beal called out Vogel. You need to watch the whole press conference. I'm assuming he's talking about when Bradley Beal was talking about Willie Green and their adjustments that they made. Did you feel like that was kind of calling out Frank Vogel or just giving a nod to Willie Green? And what exactly did he say?
No, it wasn't calling out Frank Vogel. There's going to be a lot of – I've already seen some misquotes on the timeline about Bradley Beal calling out Vogel or, Kevin Durant contradicting what Bradley Beal said because he was asked a question about what Bradley Beal said, and the question did not directly – it wasn't a good question. Like, we need to listen to what these guys are saying and stop putting words in their mouths, because what Bradley Beal was saying was that Willie Green did a good job of adjusting. He was giving credit where credit was due, because he did. Like, there were a lot of plays where they were sending cutters, flashing guys to the middle. I think Dyson Daniels got 3 floaters in a row off of that. Yes. And that was because of all the attention they were sending at Zion. That's a good adjustment. And that doesn't mean that, like, Vogel did not have the best coach game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it was some great game that he coached. I would have liked to see Thad Young, but again, Thad Young was not going to stop Zion from getting the basket the way that he did. And what Bradley Beal was basically saying was that the Pelicans did a nice job of taking a lot of what happened in the first meeting and adjusting it and getting contributions out of the other guys like Jose Alvarado, like Dyson Daniels, like some of the other cutters that they were flashing.
Yeah, G, listen, I feel good about this game. It was a loss, but I think the Pelicans just played a little bit better than the Suns. I think they played well enough to win. Is that the sense in the locker room? Like we were talking earlier, Zion had an incredible game, maybe one of his best games this season. Alvarado had a career high. CJ was incredible. I just feel like it's hard for the Pelicans to duplicate those things if this were a series with the Suns. What's your vibe from the players in the locker room? Did they feel like, hey, they just were a better team tonight, Pelicans played better, but we're okay with it? Talk to me about that.
I think so. I think it depends on who you ask. Like, if you ask Bradley Beal, he was kind of clearly trying to figure out what went wrong, and there were multiple things that he pointed to, and he mentioned the fact that he felt like the Pelicans just wanted it a little bit more. KD didn't quite agree with that sentiment. He was saying, I feel like a couple of shots there, like I missed a lot of shots. He pointed out that he was 8 for 22, missed a couple of middies, missed that dunk, missed a few layups. Those are shots that he wanted to have back. And he, called attention to some of the shots that Jose was hitting off pin downs, or CJ McCollum hitting, coming off threes and step backs and those types of things. So it's one of those things where, like KD always likes to say, it is a make or miss league, and the Pelicans just hit more shots. So I think they wanted to win this game, and they're not excited about the fact that they lost it, and now the play-in is still basically in play. This win would have gone a long way in wrapping up a top 6 seed. But they understand that, like, Zion is a really tough guy to guard, and when he's playing like that, engaged on both ends, he's absolutely terrifying. Like, the Pelicans are a legit playoff team when Zion's kind of half and half. When he's playing like that, he got a career-high 5 blocks. He was unstoppable going to the basket. He was all over the place on both ends. Like, he's an elite player in this league, and he's capable of going toe-to-toe with anyone in the Suns' big 3.
Yeah. Gerald, are you excited for the last 4 games of the season?
I would be, if not for all the negativity online. My God.
You just got to blank it out, Gerald. Just, tweet your tweets and then just put the phone down and walk away. That's all that matters.
Gerald, does a Friday night in a hotel in Sacramento do anything for you?
I do my job, and I love my job.
I'm telling you guys, Sacramento's not that bad. Y'all insane. Gerald, anything else that you think is important to share with the group here?
No, I don't think so. I think they have the right approach in terms of, we dropped one, and now we need to go and get it back, and they have this upcoming back-to-back with the Clippers that's going to be big. Clippers team fighting to keep that 4 seed, so they're well aware of what they're up against over these last handful of games, and they're still taking it one game at a time.
Totally. Well, thank you so much, Gerald. We appreciate your updates from the Footprint Center. We appreciate you all for being here and hanging out with us through the post-game show. We will have a show for you tomorrow at 3 p.m., so plan to hang out with us. And until we see you then, you can follow Gerald on social at Gerald Bourget. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Buckle up. This is why we're fans of the Suns. This is why we're fans of sports. These Final Four are going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.